Okay, to put the battery on charge, simply with the USB charger here, slide the connection in, obviously, and then you can plug this into a laptop if you like. I tend to use the wall. It's just, or it can be a computer, doesn't matter, whatever will take a USB, and then just literally pop it in and then turn on the wall, and with this particular one you get a red LED when it starts to charge. Okay, while the battery's on charge, we can have a look and compare this new H5P quad to my old, this used to be a real favourite of mine, the Fy326. This was about £17 when it came out. It was absolutely a breakthrough. And now I think they're bringing out the ones with the cameras for not much more money. So it is amazing what we're getting, how it's moving. The landing skids are slightly shorter on the new one, and the gears look exactly the same. You would have to count them up and check whether you could replace them with the same motors, but I'm pretty sure they would be. The props, like I say, are exactly the same. It's the same prop there again, I would say, so, which is good. Means as you move through buying your different quads, the bits fit from one to another, which could be very useful. Okay, so first of all, the old Fy326. Try and get that so that's just balanced there. 78.7 as you can see. And then try it with the new one. And the batteries are out of both of these. 74, so it's a little bit lighter, not quite 10%, but it's a bit lighter somehow or other. They've removed some weight from that. And just do the batteries. I run the Fy326 with a little 900 milliamp hour battery. It's a little bit bigger than the one that came with it, but it carries that weight no trouble at all, and that's just on 24. And then this is the new 1100 battery that came with the H5P, and that's 27. So yes, just again sort of only about 10% heavier, but we're getting over 20%, I would say, milliamp hours if it works that well. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put the prop guards on, and they simply just pop in to a couple of little holes there. Make sure they go right the way down. It goes down onto a shoulder there. We can see how much that flexes. Don't squeeze too hard. There we go. That's good. It just misses. They are tight. Cool. Wow, that is really tight on there. I don't know if you can see that, but if that went up a bit, that would. I think we're going to have to make sure that stays there. And then I don't know that it really needs the screws, to be honest, because it's quite a tight push fit in there. But just to put the screw in as well, one of the ones that came in the pack with it, and I'm just using the screwdriver they supplied it with. Simply screw that in. Okay, going to fit the camera next. This is actually supplied so you can fit it to several different quads, but you don't need any of these plates with this one. You just need the camera, which is really good. The only thing I'm questioning is whether we get any jello, which is the lines that come down a video with the movement, because there's no anti-vibration or anything with this, so that's a little bit of a worry, but we will see. There's ways around it. We've done it on the other quads as well. Interesting thing about this camera, which I quite like, is you can either have it facing sort of to the horizontal, or you can actually have it pointing down slightly, so you can choose what you want to do. You'd have to do this before takeoff, but we'll have a play with that when we get it out and flying. And then simply plug in, make sure you've got a good connection in there, and then let's just simply line up the slots and then just simply push it in. There we go. And then you can just about get to the switch here to turn the actual quad on and off. So that all sits in quite neatly. That's quite good. And like I say, that tilting down is quite a nice facility. And it stays where it's put, so it won't gradually move like some of the other quads do. Okay, another thing to do while the battery is charging is to pop the batteries into the transmitter. Now you need 4 AA batteries. You can use rechargeable, there's no reason not to. It doesn't take an awful lot of power. But I tend to use the alkaline ones, just sheer laziness I think and ease. And then always a good idea just to pop one of the screws that they give you just in to lock it in so that you don't lose the battery holder. And there we go. And turn on, just slide this switch up and then we get the little LCD. Obviously it's hunting for a quad at the moment and there isn't one with a battery in, so it's not going to find it. These are fake, definitely. These 2 trim buttons do work. This one isn't a trim button here, it's to take a single shot, or you can turn the video on and off, which is good. And then this isn't a trim button either, this alters the rates, and you've only got 2 rates on this from reading the instructions. You've got a high rate and a low rate. This button on the left is the headless mode, and a return to home if you keep it depressed. I'm never a great fan of those, but that's up to you. It does create some dramatic crashes if you start using it, I've found. I've never really got on particularly well with them on the smaller quads. And this one is the flip button, so this one actually flips as well. Okay, the camera is not protected. I can't actually show this very easily, but basically these skids, these short landing skids, are not going to protect it when it comes into land. The camera is hitting down, first of all, as you can see there. So any movement down is not going to do the camera a world of good. So they give you these extra landing gear, which is slightly taller and gets the camera well away from it. They just literally push in. They're just a nice tight slide in, like that. There you go, and you can hear them click once they get in there. And they've got a little bit of flexibility to them, so they just give a little bit of bounce, and so do the prop guards as well. So they're all pretty protected. There we go. And when it's fully charged, the LED goes off, so almost looks like it's not turned on. It is, you can't see the switch, but the switch is there. Simply disconnect and we're ready to fly. And all we have to do now is just insert the battery, but do make sure that this little switch on the side is off, because you don't want it binding to anything without you having control. And then just pop the battery bay door off. Not too sure how long that's going to last, because it's got some very weak little lugs there, so just to be aware of. And the battery just simply sits in there. And there we go, and that's it connected up. Try and get that to lay flat, there we go. And then just pop that into there. It just clicks in gently. And that's us all ready to go. And there is one last thing to do, sorry, before we go flying. If you're going to use the camera, obviously, is to put the little micro card in. That pops in, and the contacts are, on this particular model, would be facing down to the ground, so I've turned it upside down so you can see it. It'll only go in one way. And then we are ready to fly. Sorry about this, I've just gone to fly. We're just going to have a look at it, and just out of interest, I've just spun the props. And you can hear, hopefully, if I shush, they're actually catching the prop guards, which is really not good. I've tried moving them out of the way, and they will stay for a while, but to be honest, I can't guarantee. There we go, it's starting to go again. There. I can't guarantee they're not going to spring back to where they are. They are really tight knit, and I'm not really happy about that. If I start start it up, it's just going to hit those. So I'm going to take them off and then fly, because I just think that's not very good. Hopefully they're going to change it on the ones that come out to customers, which would be good. If not, something to be aware of. I'm sure you could, you know, keep pulling at them and manage to keep them out. But just to tell you, that's why I'm going to take the prop guards off. I'm just not happy with them at the moment.